Well, hi everyone. It is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here. Welcome once again to another fine issue of IFYL Live Inspirations for Your Life. So, what are we talking about tonight? Well, before we get into what we're going to talk about, I want to pop for you on the right hand side of the screen. Yep, my QR code. Just take your phone and you can scan that QR code with your phone or your other smart device. And once you scan that QR code, it's actually going to direct you to my link tree. That's linktr.ee with some other great stuff after. You might notice my hat, believe and achieve. Before you can achieve anything, you have to believe first. Now, these hats are going to be available just for you, so you can be able to wear one just like John and even customize one with your brand, your name, your pet, a favorite vacation spot, family, friends, or maybe even just a slogan. All right, we'll talk more about that coming up in the next 30 days. An exclusive promo of how you can get one of these with a great deep discount. What are we talking about today? Before I get into that, I want to thank the new people popping in today, and I want to thank all of the people that have popped in the past and that are with us today on all these great channels, Instagram, and around the social media continuum that we have. So grateful to be here with all of you guys and streaming live here, and then for you to watch it later on. Later on, I want to share with you that it's really important. Hey, Kenny, thanks so much for popping in. It's great to see you. Thank you for being with us. So again, for the people that have been with me for a while, I want to thank you so much for popping in, and hopefully some of the new people will become just like the old people that have been here for quite a long time. So what are we talking about tonight? We have today and tomorrow left on this particular master topic, and then we'll go into, yes, what the topic will be starting with Saturday for a master topic for the week, and then we have a subtopic. So what is it? For those who didn't pop in the other night, it is, where do you want to be in 30 days? Now, today and tomorrow, I'm doing something very unique, and that is, in order to get where you want to be, you need to have a tool, okay, or tools. I gave you a couple last night. I'm going to give you some today. I'm going to give you some more tomorrow. And so when you build a house, you need tools, right? So maybe you need a hammer. Maybe you need a saw. You need some electric power tools, drill. You need some wood, lumber, right? And you might need some other things as well. In life, in order to get to the next point in your life, because we said that the points are never over, right? Points are a continuum. Success is something that keeps breeding more success. How do you get to that next step? Well, you need to have the tools to be there, okay? Tools save us time, tools save us money, and tools help us to be more efficient. So when we think about a tool, one tool that I would recommend when you want to get from point A to point B is something really simple. And that simple tool is to be able to step back and take a moment to just bask in how grateful you are for where you are today. Build your grateful gene, right? That's a very important thing you do. What's another tool that you could have or you should have to be able to reach your goal, whatever that goal is? Another tool I think that would be really important for you to reach where you want to be in life is going to be a tool that you could pull out of your back pocket anytime. I think that's going to be the tool of an instinct or a gut feeling. Because when you develop your gut, when you develop your instinct, you're going to be on point. And by being on point, that means that you're going to make great decisions that are going to be extremely beneficial for your life and everyone else in it. As we know, the goal is to become better versions of ourselves and help everyone else become better versions of themselves. So tools are very important, whether we're thinking about building a house, whether we're writing a book, whether we're just trying to be successful, or maybe we need tools in a relationship. So there are tools that we actually can utilize to give us a leg up. I'll give you an example. When you're trying to lift a very heavy set of poundage, can't do that all yourself, right? But let's say you wanted to lift, I don't know, 50 pounds of paper. with just one finger. Could you do it? Not just with your finger, but you could if you used a tool, and that tool would be a lever and a fulcrum. So one would be like a rod or a piece of flat metal or wood, and then there'd be a fulcrum, the point where you could push down on with the finger, and that would allow it to take the weight and using that fulcrum, push it off onto the lever and raise the books or paper, what have you. I think a lot of people, when they see tools, they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to figure out what I'm having? And what tool is it that I need in my life? I think the tools become a little complicated because a lot of people feel that they need to get every tool in life. And that's not the way it goes. You need to get a tool that's going to help you to accelerate your growth. So, one way to accelerate your growth, let's say you were a chef using a food processor, right? You're not going to be dicing by hand, even though you're probably really good at doing that. You're going to want to have a food processor. In life, what tool do we want to become better? Well, I would say to see clearly, right? And I'm not talking about glasses. I'm talking about a tool of being able to look at the entire forest, not just the tree in the forest, which so many of us do. And we miss the life lesson because we didn't look at how that tree relates to the entire forest. So that's the tool of logic reasoning in large perspectives and, let's say, direct perspectives. Another tool that I think everyone really needs in life is the ability to distance themselves. What do I mean by that? Well, when you distance yourself from what it is you're part of, now you can be objective about what you're going to say. If you don't do that, then emotions might be making your decision. Now, you've heard me say that emotions are the language and feelings are the language of the universe. However, we don't want to cloud where you're going based on the fact that you can't do something because of a feeling. Now, feelings are great because we feel them first, we manifest them second. But if we have a feeling and that feeling isn't getting us to where we need to go, then we have to change it. That's like rule number one out of the get-go. If we are feeling something, go with that feeling. If the feeling's wrong, go back to rule number one, create a feeling that we believe in, right? I think a lot of people today are under the impression that things just fall from the sky. Yes, we manifest things. However, they don't fall from the sky. They come from work. They come from lots of action that we put in, lots of energy. A tool that we need in life to get where we want to be in 30 days is to have an open mind. If you have an open mind, you're going to be able to accept what comes into your life. You might say, John, I want to make $1 million. But, I don't want to make it that way. You got a chance to make $1 million. Yeah, but I don't want to make it that way. I want to make it a different way. Be open to the way the universe is sharing with you the tool. I think that's probably the most important thing. Be mindful of that tool. And when you're mindful of the tool, then I know that you truly can embrace it. And by embracing it, it's just a matter of letting things flow. You've heard me say before many times that energy will flow where your thoughts are going to go. Energy flows wherever your thoughts go. So I think another tool that I want to really share with you is the ability to be discerning and be descriptive of what you want in your mind. And know that that alone can put you light years ahead of many other people. All right, John, if these tools are so easy, why don't other people have them? Why don't other people talk about them? I think it's because they get stuck in a rut and they're like, well, this is where I am now and I can't do anything. And I know you're stuck. So if you're stuck, the one thing you don't want to do is focus more on being stuck. You want to figure out how to get unstuck, right? Because the more you focus on being stuck, the more you're like, well, I can't get out. And you just keep affirming it with every thought, every vision, every experience, every move that you can't get out. So we need to embrace the spirit, okay? of success, of being better than what we are right now so we can grow. So we can grow. Let's talk a little more about tools. So we've all talked about a tool belt. We've talked about tools. Let's talk about tools even maybe a surgeon would have or a doctor would have. A little different than the tools that a carpenter would have, but they're all tools, right? So a doctor might have a stethoscope, tongue depressors, uh, blood pressure cuff, right? Um, Other devices to check your ear, nose, and mouth. They might have a mallet they can hit your knee with, right, for the check for reflexes and your elbow reflex, check your funny bone. Now, these tools don't just work. You as a person have to make a choice to know which tool to use and how to apply it and when. I'll give you a perfect example. So you're building a house, you're a carpenter, and you've got all these tools, let's just say on your tool belt, and you suddenly want to be able to, let's say, take a nail, right? And you want to hammer the nail in, right? You should use a hammer, would be the tool. But suppose you try to use a screwdriver or a Phillips head. It's not really going to work for you. Now you might say, John, I can take the back and hit it. Yes, it's going to work somewhat, but it's not going to work to the best of its ability. That's important. Knowing which tool to pick, when to pick it, how long you should use it, and when you should be done with that tool and move on to another tool. Tools are guides, just like the GPS system we were talking about, right? We have to at least know where we're going. We have to at least know what we want to accomplish. Do we want to screw a screw? Do we want to hammer a nail? Do we want to take out a nail? Do we want to put insulation in? Do we want to run wires? Do we want to lay brick? Do we want to put a window in? Right? Knowing the task at hand is very vital to understanding what tool you need. Now, you might say, John, if I have this and I know where I want to be, you do need to know what the heck the tool is. So, knowing what the tool is and knowing how the tool works is a big, how can I say, factor in getting you to believe and getting you to grow. Because I could give you a million tools. Let's take a surgeon, for example. And let's say he needs a scalpel and he's trying to use, I don't know, another tool in his bag, like let's say something that's like a scalpel, but it's not a scalpel. Maybe it's forceps. Okay, maybe it's tweezers. That's not a scalpel. So if you use the wrong tool for the wrong job, you're going to be disappointed, and you're probably going to either not move forward much, or you're going to go staying right where you are in place. You're going to stay in place, or you're going to digress backwards several steps. Thus, in life, it's very important to think about the tool. Now, a tool is not just something that you use like a physical tool. A tool I'm talking about is things in the mind. And there's a lot of tools, we'll talk about a couple tomorrow, that you use to shape your life. And they're tools that are things you can't put your hands around, but they're conceptual tools. And they help us to mold our mind and body to have the elasticity that we want, to build the connections we want and get the reactions we want from our body so that it keeps driving and striving to do more. I hope you'll take this opportunity to definitely give me a like, a support, comment below. What is it that you would like to tell me about a goal, perhaps a tool? Did you ever use the wrong tool to do something? You're like, oh, I wish I used the right tool. You were too lazy to get the right tool. Or maybe you didn't know what the tool was and you said, let me just try it and hope it works. And that usually is very futile because it can just be very frustrating. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is I want you to please tag your friends, your colleagues, and your associates and share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then I would love you to go to my YouTube channel, Type my name, John space E space MRLEY space serial entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase help keep our content free. And then make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful. Those pennies and dollars, we'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw dropping, motivational, inspirational content. And yes, the tools to get you off your butt, out of procrastination mode, and into action to live the life of passion that you've been trying to live for years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege and a pleasure and honor to be with you this evening. I'll see you tomorrow for the wrap up of where do you want to be in 30 days. I'll give you some other key tools that if you choose to employ them, might just get you there even faster and get you to a goal that you didn't even believe that you had the potential of achieving. I hope that you have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone.